The lowest, probably the lowest thing that happened to us, the lowest point, was missing this race in '08. And, our family had been coming down here since the 50s, and they'd never missed one until we missed it. And I think that's probably the lowest point for me. It was that day. And we came back to the racetrack and hung out because we had a lot of guests coming and things like that. And it's almost like when you miss a race, especially the Daytona 500, it's like somebody died. I mean, it's until you go through it, you can't put it into words. But when you walk through the garage and you run into people that you see every week, they're afraid to look at you. It's like they don't know what to say. Like you walk up to them and say, "Hey, we missed a race, okay." But it's tearing you apart inside. But we kind of just, Lena and I dug in, and we visited a lot of people, and we got with our friends at Ford Motor Company, and Edsel Ford introduced us to a man named Jim Farley. And Mr. Farley, if you want to hear the whole story, I'll tell you if you got time. Okay. I was in Pocono testing, May 28th of '08, and we had missed the 600. And Edsel Ford was looking for a phone number for a four-star general that we were friends with, and he called me, and he said, "Why haven't you called me? And what's been going on?" I said, "Mr. Ford, I'm just ashamed to. We run so poorly and we're missing races." And he said, "Well, we got to fix that." He said, "I'm going to have someone call you in the morning." The next morning, which was a Wednesday, I think, Mr. Jim Farley from Ford Motor Company called us, and he said, "We got to fix your program." And he's like, "Why don't you come up here?" So within 2 hours, we had no clothes, just work clothes, what we had on, headed to the airport and left just like we were. We got to Michigan, bought clothes to go visit Mr. Farley, stayed up there 2 days to get to him, and we met with him and told him our problems, and it was just like talking to someone you'd known for years. And he said, "Okay, we're going to fix this." And here we sit. There's a lot of stuff in between that and then, but I won't go into all that. But that's how we started to come back. It was that day in May. Thank you.
All right, let's go back upstairs for about 3. Go ahead, please, upstairs in the press box. 3 questions, and then we'll come back downstairs. Go ahead.
Stand by. We're coming. Viv.
Viv Bernstein, New York Times. I'm just wondering how this might change the immediate future. My understanding is 17 races this year. Is any sense that could grow or become a full-time deal? Is this going to help you in that, or are you going to even work to try and do that?
I'm going to let Lynn answer that because he keeps up with the money.
We were talking about that earlier. I think we had a pretty big payday today, and we were talking about running the first 5. I think Martinsville, here we come. That will be the 6th race, and then on to Texas from there. And hopefully, somebody watching us today stirred a little interest up, and maybe they'll want to join us.
One more from the press box. Go ahead, please.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports for Trevor. Think back to Tuesday night. I think we were talking to you that if you went to New York, if you won this race, you would be expected to go to New York and you would have to buy a suit. And not in your wildest dreams at that moment did you think that time was going to come. And can you just kind of, fast forward from then to now?
Well, I think about all 12 of us at the dinner were joking around about that, and none of us thought it was going to be possible. So, I drove down here in my F-150, and I was planning on driving back, but they tell me somebody else is going to have to drive it back for me. It's insane because, we're kidding around. Did you bring enough clothes to go if you win the race? I was like, oh, yeah, I got this. I got 2 T-shirts, and, I thought it was a big joke, but here we are. I guess I better call somebody up that can make a suit and get some clothes down here for me. But I'm pretty picky, so I don't know if I can just call anybody. This is so crazy. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I almost feel undeserving because there's guys like Donnie and all these guys out here that are racing against us that have been trying to do this for so long. but there's nobody that deserves it more than any of these guys sitting up here. So I'm just glad that I got to be the guy sitting behind the wheel for these guys to get this win.
Let's go upstairs. I think Nate has a question. Nate?
Just got the mic, sorry. Nate Ryan, USA Today. Now I've promptly forgotten my question. Okay. So Trevor can only earn points in the Nationwide Series. So you guys are now talking about expanding your schedule. Assuming a sponsor does come on board, what happens if you guys now get to maybe run a full season and Trevor continues to do well and, oh, by the way, you can't make the chase or run for a championship? Not to throw water on it, but how does that affect the situation?
I think the cars still get points, if I'm not mistaken. So the car will still be in the running for all of that. I don't know how the chase works, driver or car or what, but hey, we'll be the guys that say that we should have won the championship if that's what it comes down to. I wish I could talk Mike Helton into letting me change the boxes, and maybe I can. So Mike, if you're listening, but I think our plan is still to run the full Nationwide deal. It's kind of crazy that we came here with the only thing on the car was Ford Racing. They picked up this race because we had nothing on it. This team only has 17 races, and so now maybe both of them will get a boost. We can keep doing this deal and that deal, and whatever plays out, that's how it's supposed to happen, and we'll just keep running with it.
Okay, let's come back downstairs. Jenna has a question. Then we'll go to Utter. And then we'll go over here to a gentleman here in the blue. Go ahead, Jenna.
Jenna Fryer, Associated Press. Congratulations. Trevor, I'm wondering, you're 20 years old, and you're leading the Daytona 500 with a green-white checkered flag coming, and you've got Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte, Kurt Busch, Mark Martin, all veterans who have never won a Daytona 500 behind you, and you know that they're going to do everything possible. What are you thinking? Are you shaking in your shoes? What's going on?
Well, now that you put it that way, I'm a little bit worried that one of them's going to come after me tonight. I'm going to have to sleep with one eye open. But, that's why I said I felt a little undeserving. But these guys definitely deserve it. But they can all tell you on the radio, if you all listen to that last restart, I'm leading and I'm saying, who can I push? Who can I let in front of me to push across this thing, because our car was so fast as a pusher. And I was going to brake and let Tony Stewart get down, and all of a sudden here comes the 47 car just pushing away. So, Bobby Labonte, he did an awesome job. That was the best restart we've had all weekend. That was kind of an area we had struggled not getting hooked up with drop back. You see it in the duels. The last start of the Nationwide race, with Ricky Stenhouse, he did an incredible job, but my mistake kind of messes us up there. And then here all day, our restarts, kind of drop us back, and then we come back to the front. So I'm thinking, oh no, we're leading now. That's kind of cool to say we're leading on the start of the green-white checkered. And then I told somebody earlier, I said, I got to the white flag, and I'm like, well, at least we can say we led the white flag lap at the Daytona 500. And then, we get to turn 4 and we're still leading. I'm like, man, somebody's going to pass us. What's going to happen here? And then nobody ever did. So, it's just, wow. Really. Honestly, it seems a little bit too easy there at the end. I expected another pack to come up just like they had the whole time. The second pack seemed to have the benefit, the big push. That was the first time I had worked with Bobby Labonte the whole race, so maybe we should have just hooked up earlier. But, we were pushing David Reagan there, and I thought that was going to be the deal. Just hook up to David, push him, and race kind of keep him from getting wrecked. And that's why I like being the pusher all day. I didn't want to be in a situation where somebody would be behind us and possibly turn us. But, I guess there at the end I did the last straightaway. I raced defensively. I saw Carl Edwards coming up. I pulled down to get a push from him, and it just worked out perfect.